What's going on, guys? I hope you're all having a great day today. And today I'm going to be ranking the 5 records released by the heavy metal band System of a Down. And in the past, I've always liked System of a Down, but here as of late, I have learned to love System of a Down. And this one will be interesting because System of a Down has failed to write a bad song to me. In fact, all their songs are great. I've heard every single song they've ever released. And every album to me they have is a 10 out of 10. And so this was a hard ranking for me. So if your favorite record is low on the list, don't worry. All of these albums are fantastic and none of them have a bad song on them. So if you're like I said, if your favorite System of a Down album is last place, don't worry. That is not a bad thing. That is a great thing because they're all great. So let's get into this. Alright, so in last place, and I shouldn't even really say last place because that indicates that this is a bad album, and it's not. It's a great album. But I guess number 5 for me would be their second release, Toxicity. And this is a phenomenal album, and I love it, and I listen to it a lot. This is where System of a Down really took off with songs like Toxicity, Aerials, Bounce, and their most famous song, Chop Suey. Even though this was a product of the early 2000s and heavy metal, it's still great today. And what I like about the record the most is that there are moments in these songs that just have outbursts of just heavy guitar riffs and heavy drums, like blast beats on the song X. It's also got melodic verses like on songs like I think Atwa is how you pronounce that, which is actually my favorite song on the album. Toxicity is a masterpiece of 2000s heavy metal. Alright, next we have their third release, Steal This Album. Another fantastic album. This was really just more of Toxicity, but I found this one to be a little bit more aggressive, like overall more aggressive than Toxicity. The song Pizza Pizza Pie, I'm not sure if that's actually the correct name. I'm bad with song and album names sometimes, but I like that they try to make a statement in that song about consumerism. I like that kind of stuff. But my favorite song is Inversions and the yeah. I'm a goofball sometimes, but I actually think that's the actual name of the song because that's the way. If I'm actually looking at the back of the album cover because I own it on CD. I actually just picked it up a couple days ago, but that's actually to me how it looks to be named on the track listing. But I always thought that that song, Inversions, really helped me to feel like there was some connective continuity from Toxicity to Steal This Album. So I'm pretty confident in putting Steal This Album at number 4. And bear in mind, guys, I'm not a music reviewer. I'm just basing this on my enjoyment of these records. Alright, moving on to their 5th studio album, we've got Mesmerize. More of just great System of a Down songwriting, really. My favorite track on here has to be Violent Pornography. This is an album that has amazing melodies on one end, and on the other end, the album is soaked with just frickin' expletive filled tantrums. The tantrums that they throw in this album work so well with what they've written. This album, along with Hypnotized, are very political and very anti war, which I am so fully for. Okay, I hate the idea of war. To me, it's pointless, and it's meaningless death. And I don't care what anybody. To me, war is meaningless death. And I'm not disrespecting troops. Okay, I respect, Army, Marines, Air Force, Navy, Coast Guard. I have all the respect in the world for them. I'm disrespect with this statement. I'm disrespecting the politicians that send them to have their lives fucking ended for nothing. I don't care if you think I'm some anti-military liberal because I'm not. It's not even about the politics to me. It's that I try to have a moral compass, and I don't want to see anything bad happen to anyone. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, I hate war, and that's why I love the song BYOB as well. That's why I like this whole album. It's a phenomenal album, and fuck war. Alright, so now we have their 4th studio album, which serves as a part 1 to Mesmerize, but we have Hypnotize. This is a fantastic album. My favorite tracks are, I guess, Hypnotize, Vicinity of Obscenity, and Lonely Day. I think this record, as well as Mesmerize, and to me, they weren't really focused on being mainstream like they were on or appealing to the mainstream masses like Toxicity and Still This Album. I felt like they wanted to make music that was just a big fuck you to all of the war hungry politicians, and rightfully so. But this album also has some more personal songs like Lonely Day, and that's an absolutely fantastic song. I just feel that these albums are so much more mature musically and thematically than their previous albums, or at least that's how I view it. But yeah, this is more of just Mesmerize. Well, actually, technically, Mesmerize is more of Hypnotized because Hypnotized came out first. They actually came out the same year though, but it is a great album double feature. And if you view it like a double feature, you'll love it. Like, you'll have movies that are kind of like they're a double feature. They work well together. That's kind of the case with Mesmerize and Hypnotize. So yeah, definitely. All right, and moving on to my personal favorite System of a Down album, their self-titled album, just titled System of a Down. Man, this is their most intense album. There's elements of new metal, I guess, even though I hate that term because new metal doesn't really have its own sound. Like, Korn doesn't sound like System of a Down. System of a Down doesn't sound like Slipknot. They don't sound like Deftones, who don't sound anything like Mudvayne, who don't sound anything like Limp Bizkit. You get the picture. But there's also elements of death metal on this album, especially on some of the growls on Sugar and whatnot. Soil, I think, was the song that had more growls like that. I can't remember. But System of a Down just went all out here to go ahead and try to make a name for themselves with this album, and boy, did they ever. The song Sweet Pea is just goes all the fuck out, and that's the first track on the album. The guitar riffs on here are just phenomenal. While they're simple, they're fun and awesome guitar riffs. And this album just gets me feeling pissed off sometimes. And my favorite track would actually be every song on this album, but if I had to pick one to be my all-time favorite on this one, probably my favorite song all time by System of a Down is Peephole. That's, to me, why their self-titled is my favorite release. So, alright guys, that will conclude my System of a Down album ranking. How would you rank their albums? Like I said, every one of these albums is great. Before you guys get mad at why I put Toxicity so low, all of their albums are fucking 10 out of 10. And I noticed everybody's album is, their ranking is different, which I find interesting. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure to hit that like, subscribe button, and I'm out. Peace.